You are listening to the Disney Dream Girls, an unofficial Disney Theme Parks podcast, and this is show number 536 for Sunday the 9th of February 2025.
Where dreams begin.
Hello and welcome to this week's podcast. My name is Michelle Young, and together with my jolly good chum Jane Phipps, we are your guides to the place where dreams begin. Hello, Jane.
Hello, Michelle. How are we doing?
We are good. Your countdown is getting smaller.
I've just opened my app. It says 20 days.
Oh, da, da, da.
I'm not ready. I've done nothing. In fact, I've just ordered 2 new suitcases today because I took a look at the 2 that we've used for, oh my goodness, yes, I can't even tell you how long we've used them for. And to be fair to them, they're not bad condition. But no, I need new suitcases. So I have just ordered 2 new suitcases today.
Exciting times.
That's how unprepared I am, though.
Oh dear. Well, I know our lovely friend Anthony Markham is there as I speak, and then Deborah Wolfe is hot on the heels of Anthony.
Yes.
So we have got lots of our fabulous friends going to the parks to bring us some content to share their trips with us, to talk a little bit more about use of the park, festival that's going on with regards to, do you need to pay anything for any of the options on these passes? So I think we'll have a delve into that at a later point. That might inform you what you should be doing.
Yeah, hints and tips, guys, is what I need.
So let's hop on by to On This Day in Disney History first.
Okay.
I have a 1914 birth.
Ooh.
Disney legend, animator and engineer Bill Justice was born in Dayton, Ohio. What did he work on? Well, things such as Saludos Amigos, Victory Through Air Power, The Three Caballeros, Make Mine Music, and Peter Pan.
Oh, just an odd couple of things then.
Then he went to work on, as a programmer from 1965, on an array of different audio animatronic figures, such as Great Moments in Mr. Lincoln, Mission to Mars, Pirates of the Caribbean, and The Haunted Mansion.
It's quite a transition, though, from animator to engineer, effectively.
A man with many hats. So that's one for that day. And then I thought I'd mention another one from 1940, because Disney's animated feature film Pinocchio opened in Los Angeles theatres 2 days after premiering in New York. Let's now go a hop, skip and a day over to the 10th of February 1870. Can you think of what monumental thing happened that enabled us to have a location of a Disney park?
In 1870?
Yeah.
Well, I'd like to think I know my history, but I obviously don't. So please inform me, Michelle.
The city of Anaheim is incorporated. Its name is a blend of Anna, after the Santa Ana River, and Heim, which means home in Germany. In German.
Oh, okay.
It was first founded in 1857 by grape farmers, and the winemakers originally came from Bavaria, and they were growing walnuts, lemons and oranges, and they became viable crops after the prosperous grape industry was destroyed in 1980s by a nasty insect pest.
There you go.
So before Disneyland opened in 1955, Anaheim was a rural community with agriculture at the heart of its industry.
Well, I think we all know about the orange groves, don't we? So, yeah, it's interesting to hear where it all started.
It is. So that's my history. I've got a little few bits of news, and I think the first one is for those people who love their ears and love to show their devotion to things that aren't as mainstream in the Disney community as others. And this is the announcement that over in Disney Ever After at Disney Springs, you'll be able to find the Orange Bird slide-on headband attachments. So this is really exciting because the plush characters are $9.99, and the more popular ones are probably $11.99, and you have to buy a headband for them to sort of Velcro onto. But if you like Orange Bird and perhaps like Figment, you can create your own little headband as unique as you are.
Yeah, and I suppose it's obviously cheaper than buying the standard ears that are out there. Now, obviously, it's a bit more, you can tailor them to your own personality and your own favourite characters or whatever it may well be, or outfits, of course.
Oh, yeah, because we change things by the hour. Because a while back, Disney went down this route with detachable bows, and I know our lovely friend Caroline Gray was really into these. And then all of a sudden, they stopped them, and they only had them at Disneyland Paris, and then they're virtually nowhere to be seen now.
You see, they're missing opportunities like that because we all know that most of us like a bit of a nod to Disney or a bit of a bounding vibe going on. So anything where you could have a little bit of touch of something, because I love that element of people saying to me, "Oh, you're into Disney, aren't you?" Then they look a bit closer and then they realise what earrings I'm wearing or what my bracelet is, or maybe a T-shirt, but it's not quite so obvious. I like all that hidden things.
Yeah.
So I like this sort of stuff where you can personalise it and make outfits out of it.
Also this week, the ultimate Disney fan, Josh Gad, took over Kilimanjaro Safaris.
Yeah, he's been at it again, hasn't he?
Now, I would love to be his personal assistant because so far he's been a Jungle Cruise skipper and a Disneyland Railroad conductor. And as his personal assistant, I obviously would have to help him on these trips. So I would obviously pack for him and unpack for him and quite happily escort him around theme parks and enable him to do all of these geeky things. And when his fans want to have pictures with him, I'll take the pictures for him. Can I have a job, Josh?
Well, why not? I mean, you could do all the research ahead of the visits as well, Michelle.
Yeah. So it made me sort of thinking, well, what attraction should he do next after doing those trio? What do you think he would sort of, suit his purpose? And I immediately went to Frozen Ever After.
The obvious, yes.
But wouldn't it be great if he could hide behind one of the animatronics and just come out singing it live? In summer!
It might give people a bit of a start.
Up pops Gad. It's all over the place. It's gadding about the parks.
He's gadding about. Oh, you were just waiting to say
I know,
that.
it's like
you?
the headline writes itself, Jane. It really
does a little bit. It does.
I don't know, because I don't really know what his sort of like Disney geek is. Could he possibly sort of be a elevator conductor over at Haunted Mansion?
I must admit, Haunted Mansion came to me. I can just see him sort of trying to play a very dour face and probably corpsing quite a lot. That's a bit of a technical actor term there.
And while we're talking of elevators, Tower of Terror.
Oh, you see, anything with a good costume.
I think a costume and something that could play to his strengths of overacting in an appropriate manner.
Yeah, anything that's got that little bit of wry sense of humour that you could inject. Yeah.
I could see him doing a really good job on the storybook canal boats in Disneyland.
Or what about sitting on the bridge in Pirates of the Caribbean, dangling his leg over?
And singing Yo-Ho.
There you go. Can you imagine when you suddenly realise that that's not an animatronic up there, but it's a real-life Josh Gad?
And I'd like to just say, Josh, my darling, hope your feet are going to be clean if you're dangling them over the bridge.
I want to see how hairy his leg is.
Really?
Well, why not?
This is a podcast about Disney, and all of a sudden there's Michelle waxing Josh Gad's legs. Just saying, Jane, I'll happily do it.
Well, I was going to say, you've just said you want to be his personal assistant, so how far are you willing to go? Maybe we should stop this conversation now, because this could get more than being PG. I think we might be...
Absolutely. How personal is the assistant going to be to Josh Gad? And I think there's a line I'm going to draw, Jane.
I'm just thinking waxing and airy. No, yes, move on, Shell. Move on.
Okay, so I was thinking, well, if it was me, what would I like to do? And I was thinking, well, at the moment I am a little bit, how can we put it in a nice way, unable to string a coherent sentence together the best of days. So I don't want to go on an attraction where you have to remember a very long spiel. So that runs out, things like Jungle Cruise. Can't do that. I don't want to be sat there all day pressing a button. So that rules out like Snow White or Peter Pan or Alice in Wonderland or anything like that.
Okay.
I don't want loud music, because it'll set my tinnitus off, and then I'll be on one all day with bum, 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 as the pulse of my heart is heard. So I don't want that. I want guest interaction, but I don't want angry guests that are complaining because they're in a queue for a long time. I'm really talking about having my cake and eating it here, to be quite honest.
I was going to say, you're kind of limiting oneself here.
The only thing I could think of is possibly being the cast member at Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railroad that interacts with the cartoon, which you don't know about because you've not ridden it.
No, that's true. I have an idea what you're talking about, obviously. Yeah, so there's a little bit of script, but nothing too onerous.
And I think I could overact enough for that role.
Oh, I'm sure you could, Michelle, yes.
Yeah, or maybe I work with Mickey Mouse or Daisy or somebody and sort of like help out at the character meets.
Maybe we should ask the audiences what rides would they like to see Michelle or Jane taking charge of or taking part in, as in what costumes do you think would suit us best?
Do you know what? Can you imagine it? Let's be in charge of Dumbo and speed the ride up to warp speed. Yeah! There'll be vomit everywhere.
Yeah, perhaps there needs to be a caveat on this.
Can I press the button so that we go backwards on Pirates of the Caribbean or It's a Small World?
Yeah, I think perhaps if Disney are listening to this, Michelle, you may have ruined your chances of getting a job.
Oh. I was going to go next. Can I ride It's a Small World on a rubber ring?
Why?
Because I just think it'd be comfier than being in a boat with other people that take pictures with a flash or talk all the way through the attraction or ask each other what attraction they're booking next on the Disney app. I just want to be on my own to absorb myself in It's a Small World.
Well, no, I can understand that. I'm not sure a rubber ring is maybe the best way to do it.
Oh, yeah. What about you, Jane? Is there anything that appealed to you? I can see you in Galaxy's Edge.
Can you now? Do my Bright Suns bit.
Well, I don't think they do that anymore.
Do they not do that anymore? No,
it's all been watered down now.
Yeah. Well, tell you what, I would happily go and work in Galaxy's Edge, but they need to change the time period. I ain't doing it in Batuu. They need to go back to what they should have done, what they were going to do originally, make it Tatooine, and I'll bring over my own Jedi costume. It's going to be blooming hot wearing it, but I'll even provide my own Jedi, and I'll have a wander around. Not a problem.
Yeah, okay. Could I be the grumpy host inside Ogre's Cantina that looks at the stopwatch and throws people out at precisely 90 minutes?
That would.
Can you imagine that as a job? What do you do for a living? I time people from the minute they walk in the door to when they leave to ensure they don't overstay the welcome.
We used to have, this is going back a long time, when I used to work for a bank in this country. And we would have these people come in, and they were called clerical work in progress monitors. And they would literally time you doing your work to see if you were doing it correctly or not, and obviously to provide some sort of gauge for how long certain tasks would be. So I've now got a vision of you stood in a corner with a clipboard and like a Killjoy baseball cap on or something. But it kind of appeals to you. That must kind of bring out the teacher element in you, Michelle.
A clipboard is always appreciated as a teacher, but yeah.
A clipboard and a high-vis jacket.
Oh, I never wear a high-vis jacket, and as long as I can wear my dungarees, I'm not bothered.
I think we need to move on because this is making me laugh, and it's going to make me cough in a minute if I'm not careful.
Yeah. Okay. Next thing I was thinking about is this is a true life situation.
Okay.
So if you have a decision to make about going to Walt Disney World or going to a Disney cruise, what
Okay.
considerations do you have to make with regards to these, with regards to, I would say, firstly, as just a general person, regardless of where you are in the world, then travel considerations, and then which works out the most economical to do as a Disney fan?
Oh, that's going to be tricky.
So, let's start with this for a start. I think you're hampered by doing the cruise option unless you live fairly local to a cruise port, because if you don't live local, you're going to have your travel to consider.
Yeah, absolutely. Which is why for us Brits, it's been so great these last few years that sailing out of Southampton is relatively easy for the vast majority of the UK to get to.
The only downside that I would say to that is you're limited on your options of where the cruises go
Yeah,
and when,
obviously.
because
Yeah,
it's only over like the summer period that they are offering these, and it tends
yeah.
to be Northern Europe,
hmm
Europe, and that's it.
Well, yeah, so even if we wanted to go on a more Mediterranean-based cruise, we'd have to be looking at sailing out somewhere off the top of my head like Barcelona, which would mean, again, like you've just said, we'd have to get transport to Barcelona to take advantage of said Mediterranean cruise. You know, part of the reason why we're doing a cruise, and I'm sure this is the same for you, Michelle, out of Port Canaveral, is because we looked and said, well, we're already in the country now. We might as well take advantage of actually being in the US because we've come over here because we want to do Disney World. Why don't we just extend it a bit and take in that cruise? Because otherwise, you know, if you did like a transatlantic cruise that you could do from Southampton, you're going to end up in Port Canaveral. So then you've got the you know, the complication of getting back home again.
Yeah.
So,
So there's all the travel things. So I'm taking the travel out of the equation.
right.
And I think I'm being really, really fair with that and saying all I'm going to compare is hotel, park tickets, and food in comparison to the cost of a cruise.
Okay.
And I think that's a fair comparison
Yeah,
because you can't go to Walt Disney World without buying the park tickets.
correct.
And if you're comparing it to a cruise which has food included, you have to give yourself a food budget.
Correct.
So, thinking in American dollars, how much
Right.
would you reckon a acceptable food budget per day for your standard adult would be? Let's sort of think breakfast.
25.
Oh gosh, you're generous.
Oh, you know what I'm like.
Big
Yeah, but I like my
brekkie.
breakfast. Yeah, but I like my breakfast though, don't I? You
True,
see?
true. So we've got maybe $20 for breakfast.
Okay, yeah, I'm happy to go with that.
$20 for lunch, $20 for dinner. That
Mm,
comes to 60, and then there's no coffee money and there's no table service with that.
I mean, in reality, if you were to say $20 per person per meal, you're going to have to factor in, like you say, at least 2, 3 beverages of some description. You're probably going to have to factor in at least maybe one snack. Surely your food budget is getting closer to $80 to $100 a day.
Okay, I'm going to go with 90.
Oh,
Then
okay.
that's sort of, that's allowing for the fact that you'd want to have a multi-course evening meal.
Yeah, and
Would
some
you
days
agree?
you might go, yeah, well, and some days you might go cheap, and some days you might want to indulge.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
when you're on a cruise, you probably won't have multi-course meals all the time.
No.
So I think $90 I'm happy with. Okay.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I had a look and started thinking about a comparable accommodation to a cruise line. And I ruled out the value resorts purely because you don't get daily housekeeping.
Of course, yes.
And on a cruise line, you
You
get,
do. Multiple day.
well, you get it twice a day, don't you? You get your
Yeah.
room cleaned and then you get your turn down service. So I had a look around and I got an average price for Port Orleans Riverside because I kind of thought, well, yes, the room at Port Orleans Riverside is going to be a little bit bigger, but it has the same sort of standard as quality, would you say?
Yeah, I would think so. I'd say the only downside is with it being moderate. Is it still every other day for housekeeping?
Well, I'm at a loss for that one. I can't keep up with it all.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. But let's go with it. Let's see where that takes us.
Okay. Then I started thinking about theme park tickets. Well, we're very, very lucky in the UK. We can buy our tickets for 14 days, and at the moment they're on offer for the price of 7.
Yeah.
With a bit of a discount because obviously Disney is struggling at the moment and they want as many people from the UK to go spend their money in America.
Yeah.
So we've got quite a good deal with that, and it works out at about $45 a day for a theme park ticket if you're buying for 14. And I thought, well, I'll go with that.
Yeah.
If you were only going to go for say 4 days, then I think that ticket price is going to go up.
Yes, because it's going to be the shorter, it's going to be more expensive, isn't it, if you can have a shorter window? Yeah.
So roughly what would you put per night cost as a Walt Disney World trip for hotel, park tickets and food? What would you estimate?
You mean my brain's got to now work, Michelle?
I'll just come up with a figure.
It must be about 500.
Yeah, I'd agree. I came up with $480 per person per night.
Yeah.
Okay. So then I started looking at the cruises, and I had to choose a comparable time of the hotel.
Yes.
So I chose a hotel in August, and I chose a cruise in August.
Yeah.
I got the cruise, I think it was a 4-night one I chose, and I divided it by the amounts. And bear in mind, on the cruise, you have basically eat as much as you want, room service, unlimited bog standard tea and coffee and sodas from the self-serve machines and in the restaurants. And it comes out at, with all your entertainment, at $468 per night.
Wow.
And if you're in the UK and you can drive to a port, that's going to save you your, anywhere between $800 and $1,800 for your flight. So using this evidence, it works out, ladies and gentlemen, it is cheaper to book a cruise than it is to go to Walt Disney World. And let's be honest, on the cruise, you have got from dusk to dawn entertainment. You have got some kind of water activity, whether it's the Aqua Dunk, Aqua Mouse, whatever. Yeah. You have got shows of a Broadway calibre. Yeah. You can eat multiple courses at multiple times and have room service.
Yeah.
And you get better TLC on a cruise line than you would in any Disney hotel apart from concierge. Agreed?
Well, absolutely, because obviously just having that very brief overview there, if you were to get your daily housekeeping, it would mean a deluxe resort. So all of a sudden, that $480 say dollars per night to stay in Disney World, that's going to jump by another $200? So that makes a cruise look even better.
And if you wanted to have 10 Mickey bars a day, you can order them from room service as much as you want, or at the table service restaurant.
Yeah.
So I think I've proved my point.
Yeah, you've got your free ice cream on tap, you've got the exceptional customer service, and you have got options if you want to pay extra on top of things, which there's also almost an argument that you would be willing to pay extra on top because you're not going to be paying, we've just looked at how much you're going to be saving compared to a Disney World trip. So you've got a bit of leeway there, haven't you?
Yeah, absolutely. So let us know, guys, what do you think? Is there value for you to go on a cruise in opposition to Walt Disney World? Or Disneyland Paris or Disneyland. I know a lot of our listeners right now are contemplating an initial trip over to Disneyland. So let us know your thoughts. Talk with me, as I've got a bit of experience of booking trips over to Disneyland, and see if I can help you save a few dollars.
Yeah, interesting.
Last but least thing, Jane. Food.
Yeah, I like food.
You do?
Good food.
And we were having a little chat about where I could possibly recommend for you and Simon to go and eat. And I was thinking of non-theme park food.
Okay, yeah, because we've been talking about this actually, and this completely unplanned because you don't know this, but go on, carry on.
Well, I was kind of thinking, because you haven't seen Disney Springs at all, because the last time you went, it was Downtown Disney.
It still was, yes, quite.
I'm thinking you would like to have a meal, possibly at least once, at Disney Springs.
Yeah.
And knowing your way of eating, you would be quite happy having a burger that could be adapted into a non-bread burger.
Oh, absolutely. We're all about the burgers without the bun.
Right. So, hun, without the bun, I've got 3 places where you can get astounding burgers.
Oh, I have my pen and notebook at the ready.
Okay. The first one is a bit of a weird one, but go with me, because I've heard on report that this is a really good burger.
Okay.
Planet Hollywood.
Really?
They have a Kobe beef all-American style burger, smoked Gouda, cheddar, pickles, caramelized onion jam, crispy onion straws, and donkey sauce on a brioche bun. $22.
Okay, yeah.
So that's one option. That's probably my third choice, because I'm not a big fan of Planet Hollywood because it's everywhere. I'd rather go somewhere a little bit more bespoke.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of the same thing. I must admit, I have a little bit of a thing about big chain restaurants as such, because, yeah, I'd rather go somewhere that's unique.
The Edison. The Edison is an interior that you and Simon would love.
All steampunky and, yeah.
And I think alone having their bacon on a washing line is just so you guys.
Oh, of course, yes. I've forgotten all about that. Thank you for reminding me, Michelle.
They have a speciality burger called the Edison.
Yeah.
And they use a signature blend of sirloin, short rib and brisket to make the most amazing patty, mixing it up with white cheddar, applewood smoked bacon, pickles, lettuce, tomato, Edison sauce, and you can have Burbank fries, or I'm sure they'll do you a side salad. That one's $25.
Still not bad, actually. I know what we pay over here in pounds and pennies.
Yeah, and just as an FYI, their clothesline candied bacon is $18.
Okay.
So just putting it out there.
Little appetizer.
So that's number 2.
Yeah.
But my number 1 choice is the cheapest, and it sounds amazing.
Right.
It's a limited time offering because Deluxe Burgers do a seasonal type burger throughout the different months of the year. And this is the French onion burger.
Ooh, I like a French onion soup.
2 pressed signature blend patties topped with French onion ragu, Gruyere cheese, onion dip, and truffle aioli on a herb parmesan park house roll. And it comes with a little tiny pot of this little Frenchy oniony jus, and you can dip it in. And Jane, $15.
No.
$15. Okay, it doesn't come with any side, but you and Symes won't want that muck anyway.
No. $15 for a burger in Disney.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I know. I really can't say enough about this place, about how you've got to go. And if you've been so good with that, I possibly would be speaking sweet to you and maybe persuade you to have a black cherry shake.
Oh, okay. I'm not normally a big lover of shakes.
$7.75.
Wow.
I don't think they're ridiculously priced, and they have all
No.
sorts. They have mango, chocolate, cookies and cream, s'mores, salted caramel, strawberry and vanilla. 7.75. So the two of you could go and have a meal, and it'd come in well under $50, and you don't have to have the death by diabetes drink, but it's there if you do want it.
Oh, that's tempting.
I think you should be going there. And the good thing is you just get the burger and you can dispatch because you've got no tax and tip because of how it's set up.
True. And with the staying at Port Lane's French Quarter, obviously we're only a little boat ride away.
Yeah. So, guys, let us know, where could Jane get a better burger? Now, we know there's a few places in the parks that offer an amazing burger, and one of them being Tiffin's at Animal Kingdom. But do you know a better burger?
Yeah, let me know. Happy to take on a burger challenge.
Oh, absolutely. Homework for Jane.
Definitely.
Well, I would like to end the show by giving a big thank you to the producers of our show, the wonderful people who support us via Patreon, patreon.com/DisneyDreamGirls. Thank you very much for enabling the magic and enabling this show to stay advert free. If you want to hear more from us or see more from us, at DisDreamGirls on Instagram. But until next time, it's a goodbye from me.
And bye from me.